So, Junaid, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So, as you know, for the last few weeks, the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has been a really intense matter that is being discussed. So,
hmm
what do you know? What is coronavirus?
It's basically an illness that affects your airways and your lungs, and obviously it originated in China and has become a worldwide problem.
Okay, and as you know, it's been affecting literally every single country in the world,
Yeah.
literally, and obviously it's affected the UK. Now, in terms of your understanding, how does the virus get around? What do you think?
There's not a guaranteed way that it goes around, but obviously, touching cough droplets, how that's kind of how it's spread, touching it and you putting it in your eyes, putting your fingers in your eyes, or putting your fingers in your mouth whilst eating. Obviously, the best way to deal with that is through prevention of trying to spread it, like wearing a face mask, washing your
Okay, we're
hands.
going to go into that in a second, right? So, you're absolutely right. So, those are the ways. So, in terms of prevention,
Yeah,
in terms of your understanding,
yeah.
what can we do to stop that spread? Or obviously, stopping is one thing, but staying as safe as possible. What can we do?
Obviously, washing your hands. Try to wash it as regularly as possible when you go out and come back. Anything that you've touched when you've gone out, like your phone or your anything like cards or whatever, try to clean that. Use hand sanitizer if water or soap is not available. And if you have the coronavirus, try to self isolate and wear a mask at all times. Stuff like that.
Okay, so let's talk about self isolate, and we'll talk about also stockpiling. So, do you think stockpiling? Would you know what stockpiling is?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good idea?
It is a good idea in the sense that you will have your security if anything did happen, like a lockdown. However, people who are less able to stockpile, like people on low incomes or elderly people, they will struggle to gain these resources. And although it's a good thing to stockpile, there's obviously negatives as well.
It's good. And so people generally should buy as much as they think they need and allow other people to buy it. That's why there's limits on on buying stuff now. So have you been out to the shops at all in the last few days?
Yeah, I've seen there's a lot of queues, a lot of people in the queues because of the panic. However, I think people have that misconception as to having to buy everything right now, but there's a lot of things that are non-diminishable and that's made in our country that can be manufactured even more. So people are probably buying a bit too much sometimes and not leaving enough for the other people.
So what are your thoughts on people stockpiling toilet rolls?
Obviously, people people can stockpile it because it's kind of a necessity. It's a daily need for people, and it's just something that everyone thinks they need. However, toilet roll can be manufactured in our country, and I doubt there's going to be a lack of toilet roll because there's many trees in this country, and as a matter of fact, in the world. I don't think that there will be a shortage of toilet rolls.
Okay, why not toothpaste? Why don't we stockpile on toothpaste? Because that's something we actually need more, I
I
think.
think people look at the main things like toothpaste lasts a bit longer than toilet roll. You'll obviously go out to the shop to buy a toilet roll a bit more than toothpaste because toothpaste will last you longer. I think people are buying the wrong things to stockpile on. Like people should be implementing their money and stockpiling things like vitamins because that boosts their immune system. However, they're spending their money on toilet roll and stuff like that.
Okay, so let's talk about school now.
Yeah.
Does your school, do you think it does enough to safeguard you guys in terms of the information that they've put out and the action that they're doing at the moment?
I think they're just relaying kind of what's already in the media, as in coronavirus is around and try to wash your hands. However, I think they're doing the bare minimum to kind of safeguard the students of our school, like just putting hand wash in the toilets, and I don't think they're doing enough in our school because obviously it's hard to implement all of this safety around the coronavirus in our school. But basic things as hand sanitizer in our school, I don't see any hand sanitizers around or nothing like that.
So you mentioned, what do you think is more important, hand sanitizers or hand washing your hands?
Both are as important
If you
as
had
each
to
other.
choose one.
I'd say hand sanitizer because it's something that you can keep with you. You can't keep hand wash with you and use it on the go. Hand sanitizer is more scarce than hand wash at the moment because of how portable it is and how useful it is.
Okay, so in school, really and truly speaking, how many times do you wash your hands?
I wash it every single time I try to have contact with something. Like I'll probably wash it once an hour every after a lesson or something like that. But if I'm at home, I won't wash it as much as I'm outside.
Okay, what about your other friends and students? Do they wash their hands as much as you do?
I don't know, probably not. It depends
I
on the
mean, do you
person.
see people going rushing to? There's a queue in the
Nah, there's not
for
a
the
queue.
toilet.
I don't
Right.
think people have got that idea of how serious it can
Okay.
be.
So generally, like you think, from the idea I'm getting is that you don't think people take it seriously enough.
Yeah,
It's just kind of there, but it hasn't really come, right?
yeah.
So in terms of yourself, if you was an adult buying stuff and doing stuff, what would you say your priorities are? What would you go and buy and stock up on? Let's not use the word stock up, but what would you do? Let's say today you were the man of the house and you had to, lockdown. Let's talk about lockdown. Move away from stockpiling. We've spoken about that already. Let's talk about lockdown now. What is your understanding of lockdown?
Lockdown is basically restricting people's movements up until the need of people having to go out. So the people that need to go out are allowed to go out, basically. Just lockdown, staying inside, trying to spread the coronavirus.
Sure. And so, in terms of lockdown, what are your thoughts on terms of schools closing down? Do you think it's a good thing or not?
I think it's a very good thing because I believe that the younger children don't prioritize cleaning their hands as much as their older people. You see younger children have less hygiene in that sense. I think it's a good thing to close down schools because that's one of the main outlets of spreading the coronavirus to other people. As demonstrated in earlier things during history, like the Spanish flu, that there was a lockdown in certain cities and that contained the spread of that flu compared to other cities which got it. Other countries like Italy have they've done a lockdown which has contained it, and I think the UK should do that very soon.
Sure. So, what about if there was a lockdown and then obviously, do you think kids can generally stay at home? Like, for them, it's probably some parents are saying, or some people are saying, lockdown isn't going to mean those kids who are shut down from school are going to sit at home. They're probably going to go out into the park and play football. And it's going to be like an extra summer holiday. Somebody might have, let's say, 5, 6 kids in the house. It's technically impossible for all the kids to stay in the house for 2 weeks in a row. Do you agree with that or disagree with that? Like, do you think that kids will stay at home, or do you think they'll just go out and play football and go and do what they want?
I believe that people will still go out, but the amount of people that are out will dramatically decrease because there's this lockdown in place, so people will have that precaution as to going out. But obviously, people are going to have to go out for sanity reasons, like you can't just stay at home in a house
I'm talking
24/7.
about the children. So do you think children will be able
Of course,
to
children always want to go out, so for parents, it'll obviously be hard for them to keep their children at home.
Right. Okay. So, do you think we'll get through this?
Of course, we've been through a lot of things this whole world, and there's been a lot of illnesses. I believe that our technology is the best it's ever been in history, so we'll be able to get through it.
Good. All right, Junaid, thank you very much. Stay
Thank you.
safe and be well.